Hello, my friends. My name and have been going. I know from seeing things, destruction, chaos around me, and believing in the system, that I came to the conclusion that everything's beautiful in every way, and we need to learn to love each other equally. We need to let go of the things that hold us down and ground it to this place. We need to learn to love and appreciate everything we're given. We need to learn not to be brainwashed, learn to think critically for ourselves, as well as love other people the same way. Not to judge, just to love. As well as everyone is beautiful, inward and like if two parents have an ugly child, the appearance of the child will not change how much you love the child. That's only looking outwards. What you have to do is look both ways on it. Look at both points of view. You need to learn to love them either way. Because even a child that has ugly outer beauty can have the most beautiful inward beauty. And if you figure that out, it makes life much easier. But also, when you look at how the world works, you kind of redefine what it actually is. But then you understand that everything's connected. Because in reality, when we actually pass, we go back to the source. So basically, since we're energy and we are spiritual beings or metaphysical beings, being astral realm based and physical grounded based, it our perspective on things are not old, but the repetitious repeating of lies and deception will actually alter the person's mind so much and change them in such a way with ego, which is a false version of themselves, which will make it so that they're not the person they are, but an illusion of their self. So also duality. See, the reason why the system is messed up the way it is because a lot of people have duality on this planet. The wars are because of duality and little minuscule things. The duality is basically thinking that you're better than someone in any way. And that's just unjust, untrue, and unfair to think that. But also, you gotta understand that everyone is loved. Everyone will be loved. Because I am, we are. I am love, we are love. Because everything resonates at a vibrational field. The energy of the actual earth vibrates at a 10 hertz. That's why it feels so good to go outside. And it vibrates at a 7.83 hertz, which is kind of cool. Also, that's actually cool, is a really interesting, cool video on YouTube called Dr. John Bergman. And he's a chiropractor that talks about healing people with the diet. Like he talks about how to heal alternate colitis. Sorry, I could pronounce it. I'm not sure what the beginning of the word is. So I apologize. It's colitis. You can heal 97% of all diseases can be healed. He's got a video that's really interesting, very intriguing, very enlightening. And then there's a woman before that that has a beautiful documentary called The Beautiful Truth, and it talks about toxicity in the body and how to heal cancer and and like all these things that they label you guys with, like mental illnesses. They're not really real. They're more of an optical illusion because people tell you enough times repetitively that you're something, and then you start to believe it. But in reality, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just experiencing a certain type of feelings and consciousness that you can't explain in words. But even if you explain in words, they consider you crazy, even though it's based on actual facts. But then again, I see the beauty in all things, really. I think I always really have, just kind of blocked it out. Basically, like a period to me is beautiful for a woman because if you don't have a period, it'd be almost impossible like very difficult to actually have a baby because it helps you prepare for the childbirth and the pregnancy. So therefore, pregnancy is also beautiful, even though the period in people's minds is disgusting in a way. You got to look at the actual beauty of it, because you understand that it is beautiful, because even though it looks disgusting, it makes one of the most beautiful beings in the whole universe, which is a baby. Probably by far the most beautiful thing ever to see in life. The best thing, the most wonderful thing ever is to see a new child or a new life created. As long as you don't hurt that child with medications, you should actually ask them what they're feeling. Because people judge based on what they're told from the media. People don't actually critically think for themselves. And if the human race is able to critically think for themselves, the society is like an anthill or a beehive. Once the workers stop doing it, the whole system halts. So basically, in a way, the people that are working are the actual workers. So if one person stops working, it won't do anything. But once other people start doing it, the system will just crash. It's just like nothing you can do. But you're also going to look at the truth of anarchy too. That if you look at anarchy actually does not mean chaos. In reality, there's a video that talks about it online on YouTube. He states that anarchy means freedom and peace. And there's another woman on here I think I have saved, or on my other computer, that has her talking about how there's the difference between where we're living in the society to I guess capitalism or whatever, and the difference between that, as well as the difference between anarchy, and it's pretty interesting. Though I think the one thing people would be really irritated about is if they actually did research on the actual tax thing, like income tax. People would be really, really upset if they knew the truth. But it's not a bad thing. It just need to improve more. See, in reality, people really can't. My brother graduated from a tech school down here in New Hampshire, and for welding, and it was interesting because one day I'm like, hey Josh, he's my brother's Josh. He's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy. But it was kind of cool. I told him one day that there is in reality no graduation, because in reality you do not graduate, because you cannot fully learn until you've lived every single lifetime in this universe or timeline. Otherwise, you truly don't graduate. Otherwise, it's just more of a temporary graduation, because school systems are so broken right now, and the system is so corrupt. Even in New Hampshire, I've seen videos. There are judges in my state that are corrupt. So that proves the system is broken as hell. So, but this isn't a negative mindsetting thing, negative thought or mindsetting. It's more of just truth. Because even though the system's broken, you always got to find love and beauty in it, regardless. See, for example, people got to slow down and relax, because people need to de-stress, or at least get a couple days off to relax. Even children when they're younger. Even children in school should have as much fun as they want to in earlier times. Then when they get up towards 8th or 9th grade, they can be bored out of their mind to be a debt slave. But you only have one time to be a kid and have fun. But also, I find women, regardless whether they're ugly, inner or outward, beautiful. And if I had a woman that was full of peace, love, longevity, and positivity, as well as love me and respect me and entitle me with anything, I would love her forever. I'd even be willing to have children with her. But the society that teaches women is taught so poorly and so wrongly that it's almost unrecoverable. Like, it can't be recovered. but it's not a bad thing. It just proves that there are problems. But like what I believe the quote of Kennedy was, "An error is not an error until you fail to correct it," which is true. But when you do history enough times and you have enough wars, you got to learn that the wars don't do anything, and that doing the same thing does not help anybody. All it truly does is bring sadness, remorse, and revenge. There's one other video that's very enlightening, and it's from a show, Japanese anime called Naruto Shippuden. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right, but if I'm not, correct me. But there is a video on YouTube where a female voice is quoting what Pain, one of the Akatsuki members in Naruto, is saying, or saying a quote, and he talks about how revenge brings nothing, and even if you truly understand someone, you think you do, they won't understand you, so they truly won't understand. But I gotta say though, I learned to let go of all the pain that I've had. I've been crying lately and stuff, but as doing that, I'm able to heal. But people that are around me, I will always love. But the system will always be broken until someone stands up and fixes it. Though, we should at least put a little bit of faith into Trump and not judge him. Because how do we know? Have you ever thought maybe there's two Trumps? Maybe he has a clone or something, or a brother? Because if you look one time, there's a red tied one, but then you look again, it's a blue tie. This guy named Dick Gregory says there's two of them. So if that's possible, then maybe we're actually not seeing what they think we're seeing. Like, how do you know we're not? Like, there was a movie came on. I don't remember what it was called, but it was about two twin brothers, and they swapped places when you're doing a magic show, and they looked exactly alike, and like identical twins, I guess. And they swapped, and people didn't even know what was happening, and it was interesting. But I gotta say though, I think all people should learn to love and respect each other, and peace can be achieved. But by going to other countries and starting a war, it's not really worth the time and energy and lives or resources. Also, when you have so much hatred in a society about everything, like 9/11. See, like 9/11 was not a big deal. We didn't have to kill like 500,000 or so innocent people in other countries, in Iraq and other countries, just because. What was it, like 3 planes, like 3 guys on each of them, blew up, hit a tower. Yeah, it had explosions, which is kind of more like a conspiracy theory, but I think it's pretty fact. Because, yeah, it's kind of strange. But yet there's another insight if you look at the point of view through a guy on YouTube called, I believe his name is Phil Snyder. He talks about deep underground bases and the DUMBs, and the FEMA camps, and he's pretty cool, pretty smart. Though, I don't know, even Dr. Stephen Greer is pretty interesting. Once you kind of learn a little bit more about the truth, it works. Actually, I actually talked to a friend, and he's pretty enlightening. He considers me like a master, but I kind of feel as if he's my pupil. But though, it's good to feel pain. It's a normal feeling. But you also understand the body naturally heals with the right foods, without chemicals. The body will heal. It's got a natural mechanism inside that heals itself. But if you have sugar problems and you take insulin, you're going to die 30% higher chance of dying. So you gotta try to avoid these things. And try to relax. Use some pressure point practices to calm you down, relax you. get a massage, Reiki, any of those, even breathing exercises like your meditation or yoga, those are useful as well. Useful coping skills that relax the body. Because if you stress out when you're maxed to the point, your body is going to overstretch itself. Therefore, it could kill you. So what I was going to say before was, life is like an hourglass full of sand. The sand is symbolized as the deaths and life of everything. So each grain of sand is a life. So basically, you treat life and life you have like a grain of sand, as in very importantly, because in this lifetime you only have so long, but you have to let go of things that are problematic and causing you problems. And you got to learn to love in your heart, and learn to love everyone around you, even if they cause problems. Even if someone has stolen from you and you're out of place, you don't have the right to talk to them behind their backs when they're not there to defend themselves. That's unjust, unfair, and unbelievably so sad. But life is very precious. You got to learn that doing and loving people is the best thing to do, because if you know that love exists and that where everything's energy, then that means that we're by far one of the greatest races on this planet. Because I gotta say though that if we are somehow linked to another civilization in the universe, be it dimensional or alien, or even now, if the inner Earth exists for Agartha and New Berlin, then it's 100% possible that we are the ancestors of that civilization, which would explain how and what we are. Or whoever created us was one of the most genius minds on the whole system, because it's like it's like the most enlightening and most entertaining and greatest experience would be having an out of body experience. So basically, yeah, you lay on the bed on your back, you do some breathing exercises, you put your hands by your sides, and you do some breathing to relax your body. Then about 20 or 30 minutes later, your body will start to go numb, and then you'll start to feel tingling and itchy sensation on your body. Ignore that. After, you should be able to slowly step out of your body by slowly moving your energy that you have, your soul, moving it. You should be able to move slowly out of your body, and you should be able to go to an astral realm of your choosing, or anywhere you're on the plate, anywhere in this universe that you want to, as long as your cord for your astral and your physical is still connected. It only stays that way as long as you're alive. But once you die, your connection to the physical is no longer existent. But you go to an energy. You're in more of like an energy soul state that's so high that the vibration's amazing. I mean, I actually strongly know and believe that. I just don't know why. But all I know is that the body can only do so much. Yet the body can only hold so much memory. I gotta say, one of the most enlightening videos was on YouTube, was The Egg. And The Egg talks about how this guy passed on. He went to go see God or the creator, whatever you want to consider him to be, the source, in my mind. And the God talks about how you're a great person, you're to go back as a different person, reincarnation. And then the god or whoever asks says, no, it was the man that asked, why am I here, and why am I doing this? And God replies, to mature. You are like a fetus. You're trying to mature over lifetimes, learn all the things you can. And then he said, why is this? It's like what about what happened? What about all the other people on Earth? He's like, there are no other people on Earth. Like, what about all the other people? Like, there are none. What about all the stuff? What about all the other people that it's for on the planet? Like, it's just you. So basically, everyone on the planet is every incarnation of you in every single life you've had. So basically, the guy would ask, so then that means I'm everyone ever lived. I'm like, yes. He's like, so I'm Hitler. Yes. You're all, and then God's like, you're also the Jews that were killed by him. They said you're pretty much everybody. And I gotta say though, that's a very enlightening video, and I gotta say it resonates really high with me. But then again, my actual connection to a super consciousness on a level of thinking and creativity kind of bypasses reality's ability to comprehend it. So it's really hard and almost impossible to actually teach someone that has no information or knowledge of it. So it's really difficult. It's really difficult talking to people. It's really hard. But I love people regardless. If you're wondering why it looks like I'm in a room of some type, I'm in on a hospital. I got in trouble because I tried to I guess recycle my room, or clean my room. I tried to clean my room and reorganize it, but all I got was hatred and aggression and judgment without support. Like, no one supported me on doing good. I mean, I always got negativity from trying to do it, and this is one of the things it was holding me back from moving forward. And I've been trying to do it, and I've been kind of sitting here almost like a week or so, just waiting for people to title me with something like bipolar or something stupid like that. Unimportant. But it's not. It's kind of like, I guess they're concerned because my sugar level's up, like, I think I was like 330 6 months ago. Now it's like, it went up to like 100, like by 124 or something, maybe less than. I'm not really sure. Actually 324. It went up a bit. I mean, it's probably 424 at the moment. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, if it was really that dangerous, I would be dead by now. So maybe the creator or whoever brought me into existence, or whoever is protecting the planet, maybe it's possible they want me alive for a specific purpose. So I mean, I've pretty much almost died probably about 7 or so times so far, and 3 of them was almost choking to death. So somebody up there must love me or want me around, because if they didn't, I would be dead the first time I did it. So yeah, but also, well, it's kind of interesting, but like, everyone around me calls me, there's people call me a hoarder, and people don't understand the concept of what a hoarder is. There's 2 versions of it. See, a hoarder is someone that collects things because they can't take the stress of the world, and it comforts them. It either grounds them, makes them feel more secure about themselves, makes them cope with relationships that have gone sour in the past, helps as a defense mechanism. But also, everything they have can be used. So in essence, they are actually what I am. There's not much difference. But saying there's something wrong with them is not true. All the stuff they have, if you think and outside the box, all those items they have, you could make them into something else. If I had all those items, I can make so many items out of those. I can probably make the coolest items ever. I can make anything out of everything. I can make everything out of anything, or anything out of everything. Pretty much anything that's around, I could probably make something out of it. Some use. But see, there's two different. My friend came over, my father's friend. He came over and he said, there's two things. There's two kinds of people. There are hoarders and savers. Hoarders are people that keep things and never throw anything away. A saver, which is the second one, is a person that keeps things until they need it at a later time or for some kind of purpose. But I'm a saver because I don't keep broken things. I don't keep trash items. I don't keep broken utensils. I don't keep broken things I can't use or are not useful. I will keep broken, damaged boxes if they're damaged and I can reinforce them to use them. But I don't use anything that's not useful. And that's what differs me from everything else. But even if you're at a hospital and you try to tell them the truth about how everything is and that you're not bipolar, because there's actually a lot of people should see this documentary. It's called The Truth About Psychiatry. Trust me, if you knew the truth about how psychiatry works and how they want everyone, even healthy or not, for the population to be on medications, trust me, you'll be kind of upset. Trust me, and kind of sad and disappointed. Yeah, it's called the Truth About Psychiatry. It's on YouTube. It's really, really, really enlightening, but really sad. Really sad. Or another good documentary is, or video on YouTube, which pretty interesting. Let's do is the truth about Gaddafi. If only the Western world knew. This woman talks about how greedy he was, and I gotta say that if you actually saw what his country actually did and has, or before we mess with it, it is such a beautiful country. Not even funny, but I don't know. One day I'll find love. Who knows? If I can find a woman like that, I'd be willing to have children. But then again, I guess I kind of have some weird thing. I'm not sure if it's normal or if it's ever had this kind of weird thing. But has anybody ever had a fetish or a fantasy about using a clit pump, pussy pump, or nipple pump on a woman, or dreaming about having sex with a pregnant woman, or lactation, or a pregnant woman with a hairy pussy? Because if I'm not alone, then then I feel better. But if I am alone, I kind of feel a little out of the loop. Then again, this is coming from someone that's been playing games so much inside and away from people that, literally less than last year, someone told me that after pretty much 15 or 16, 17 years of doing banking, someone told me, "Oh, you can put money in the ATM. We have the ATM into your bank account." They did that 20 years ago. So this is news to me. How come no one ever told me about it? I'm a 90s kid, man. I don't keep track of all these things. I mean, hell, I remember Pogs, or little chip things that you kind of flip. Pogs, man. I mean, damn. I mean, Pogs. I mean, hell, I remember gold. I remember gold, silver, and crystal. I mean, Stadium, man. Or 95 games, like Windows 95 and 3.5 floppy A discs, CD players, Walkmans. I mean, wow. Or some of the really cool stuff. I remember Rice Krispie Treat cereal. That was delicious. I remember Butterfinger BBs when I was a kid. 3D Doritos when I was growing up. I remember all these cool things that were so awesome in growing up. I mean, so many delicious things. I mean, they're delicious. Ooh, do you guys remember the old Flintstones pops? Those ones that you push up and they have little straws on the bottom. Then you push them up and increase the ice cream. It's like a Flintstones version of it or something. Those are delicious. There's a lot of really good things at that time. Actually, some of them, the powder on them, and then it was the donut with the frosting, and like the white frosting in the middle. Ooh, God, that was such a much. I remember one of those. That was really good stuff, I gotta say. Um, it was by far the most delicious thing I've ever had ever in my life. I mean, then again, I think at the moment though, I mean, I kind of broke up like in I think it was February or March with my ex girlfriend because she was kind of like uh, I, she tried to take her life in my room when I was trying to get her to help her, and I had a friend that actually had that happen to him, so I had her, and if she wasn't that way and she listened to me and actually was grateful, I probably would have stayed with her. But I think that if I did anything, I think I would want to have. I think right now, since I haven't had probably sex in about 6 months, maybe 5 months, I actually would not mind actually having it right now with a woman, because I gotta say, when you don't do that, or you can't do that when you're busy cleaning a room for like a couple months, blue balls is very painful. Trust me, you don't want to have blue balls or heavily, because it really really hurts. Really hurts. The most painful thing ever. But I gotta say, women are amazing though. The population is amazing and beautiful. They're beautiful people. Women should be appreciated for what they did. They do. So you shouldn't look at the negative aspects of women. You look at both sides, negative and positive. But look more on the positive than negative. Because women do some really good things. I mean, women take care of the children. Women give birth to the children. Women have to go through 9 months with the child inside, in them, and it's probably very painful. Childbirth is pretty painful. I mean, if I was a woman, I had periods though, that would probably hurt, and pregnancy would hurt too. But I envy and love women just because they're just so beautiful inside, inward and out, that it's more of that if they truly love you and they don't kind of go to the system and cry to get a divorce, it works. Because I would love children though if I had a woman that actually loved me. But because I'm what you call, I guess, an empath, so I absorb energy from people and things really easily, and negativity affects me so badly, and it's something I can't really take. So I kind of when I'm in my own room or my own place. At the moment, I'm with my mother living, but usually when in my room, it's always positive love music playing on my Xbox or computer, and then I'm doing breathing exercises and just loving life while doing it. It's a great feeling. But love. Sorry if you see me kind of doing this with my fingers. I'm kind of trying to hit a pressure point because my shoulders all messed up. Oh, my body's a little tensed up. Sorry. I would love to learn how to do martial arts though. I regret not doing it when I was younger, because I mean the best defense is a good offense, or a good offense would be a good defense. It really depends on which way you perceive it as. But love life always. Always be in light, peace, unconditional love, and under the guidelines and vibration of the infinite universe. Or yeah, pretty much that, yeah. And longevity for everybody. Namaste. And thank you for listening. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I hope people get an insight of what I think. And if you have a problem and I have it activated, give me a comment of what you feel. That way I get more of a outlook experience of what people think. That way it helps me improve experience-wise, helps me better life, helps me figure out what to do in life, helps me know how I can help people more, and makes life the most beautiful thing you can actually ever have in life. It makes life just beautiful to see. Everyone's beautiful, remember. Everyone's a beautiful person. Everyone vibrates wonderful love energy. And that even if these events happen with shootings and these terrorist events, know that you're always going to be in love with yourself and other people. You're just gonna understand that it's not the people from other countries' fault. It's the fault that we have 9/11. It wasn't their fault. We were poking the bear way before that. So you only poke something so many times before it snaps. It's kind of like when you have a snake, like a king cobra, so they can spit like 6 or 8 feet. But see, you can only poke a cobra so many times before it bites you, and you get the venom inside and keel over. You can only do that so much with human beings. They can only take so much before they stand up against it. See, the problem is that the civilization we're in, if we rise up in a peace, they fight us. If we try to fight for our constitutional rights, they fight us at every turn. Every turn. We try to make the world better with technologies, they go against us. We try to give thoughts about the truth about existence, they go against us. Pretty much every single thing that they've taught you is a lie. But also, that when they show you different videos and they show shows that say something's going to happen, you should probably pay close attention to that, because it's a warning sign that something's going to happen. Because 9/11 was literally brainwashing society repetitiously for about 50 years. They've been hinting 9/11 since the 50s in a Porky Pig cartoon. You can actually watch it on YouTube. They will actually talk about the towers in the 50s. The 90s, in 99, a year and a half before it happened, there was a movie called The Matrix with Keanu Reeves. And when you watch the first movie, The Matrix, you will actually notice that there is an ID on the table that says 9/11, and it shows the exact date of that event. And then another hint for it, they did cleverly, was they hinted it again in the Terminator 2 Judgment Day movie with the 9-inch 11 or so number, which meant 9/11. Even the Simpsons predicted it with their book saying 9/11, as well as there was an actual movie in the 90s, late 90s, 99, or maybe a couple years earlier, that was talking about a plane hitting the Pentagon, as well as there were plans to start a war in the Middle East by starting a major catastrophe. And they were talking about how they were going to blame it on the Middle East, and they were going to make some major event, I guess in New York with the towers. So it's already told you ahead of time. It's just people don't really realize it. Like some of the school shootings, like the one I talked about Texas, and they had 2 places. Like I don't actually remember exactly what the places were, but there was an actual TV show that stated what about it and talked about it. So basically, everything you really see, usually on movies, is based on truth. Like an example would be, I watched an interesting video on YouTube about the races of the world. There were the Titans, and there were the Elves. So the Titans were the creators of the Earth, from what I've gathered. And they pretty much formed the Earth into what it is now. The Elves were a kind of humanoid kind of race, I guess. And they didn't like the Titans because they thought the Titans were too powerful and they had too much power. The Elves, though, the Titans were more peaceful, and built in helping fix the Earth and supporting it. The Elves were more on the technological scenario age. They believed that their weapons could actually do something, and that having their weapons could actually fix them and be useful. As a result, they started a war with the Titans. And if you actually look at the Titans, though, and you actually look at the Titans, and you watch the movie, the BFG, the most recent BFG, not the old cartoon one, but the kind of more CGI one, you'll actually notice that his brothers are afraid of water. The problem is that it's actually true, because his brothers didn't like water because the BFG giants were actually being referenced as what actually happened, because the reason why his brothers feared water is because the Titan giants were actually killed and afraid of getting drowning by water. So basically, the elves started a war with the Titans, and the elves used their I guess what you call weather manipulation weapons to change the weather to pretty much rain and cause lots of weather changes. Therefore, pretty much ruin and destroy the environment, causing mudslides and covering the Titans in mud and stuff. And then they use their sun weapon, or I guess you would call sun ray, or I don't know. I guess it probably the sun disc, sun ray. You know, I guess it would be the one from the N64 video game of that really cool game. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to think of it here. Oh, it was a really fun game, and it was like a sun disc. I'm trying to think. What was that cool game? Oh, Body Harvest. Sorry, I haven't thought of the game in a long time. Sorry, I haven't played it in a long time. Okay. If I don't play it, I kind of forget it. Sorry. A Body Harvest. That one of the weapons you can get out of a building in the first mission is in this little door in the middle of nowhere. There's a sun disc or something. It shoots sunbeams or beams of a high heated energy waves. It's pretty cool. But basically they use that to petrify the Titans. So if you see in like because that the whole planet was petrified. So if you look at the Devil's Tower closely, the Devil's Tower in Arizona is not an actual rock. It is in fact a giant tree stump, because there are tons of those all over the planet. Because if you ever saw the movie Avatar with James Cameron, if you look closely, that big giant tree that's there, that's how big trees actually were at one point. So everything they pretty much teach you, they're trying to tell you something. So you also got to look at what's missing as well. Kind of like Hitler, for example. See, I've seen a bunch of documentaries. I've seen how Hitler was. I've seen both sides. But you also got to understand, if you're going to watch a documentary, watch the video that's called "The Truth About Hitler." The best story, I think it's called "The Best Story Never Told." It talks about it's like 6 hours long, and it usually 3 or 6. I can't recall really, but it talks about Hitler and how his life went, and then it's pretty cool. Then you just go check another thing, see if it's correct, and then if you want to see something else about the war, that's how it was about Hitler, but if you want, you should look at the Germans' point of view of the war. See, if you look at the truth about the Germans' point of view, it's different. Because if you don't know, Winston Churchill had a plan to use his I guess, English Air Force, or whatever you want to call them, to bomb the Germans into submission. They murdered and massacred millions of innocent people from firebombing that Dresden and Hamburg. It's very sad. Trust me, it's very sad. And the Germans, though, I mean, people think the Germans were bad. If you saw images and heard how the Russians and everyone else treated them when they came by, oh my God, it would break your heart, make you want to cry. they would literally hurt and murder those innocent people. I gotta say that I consider the Germans by far one of my closest families. And I gotta say that if I knew Hitler, or I could visit him and talk to him, and he would accept me the way I am, I think he'd probably love me more. Plus, people don't understand though too that what people don't understand too is that Hitler actually was suffering from, I think it was cancer or something. It was some kind of medical problem, and he was suffering severely from it. And you got to understand, the Germans are really smart and innovative. If I hate to break the truth, break people's hearts and the truth, and blow their minds, and tell them this, even though they don't want to hear it, but the Germans would have won the war. The Germans also had tanks that ran on wood. So their first designers were working on tanks that could burn wood. So if they did that, they would have continued the war. Trust me. But you also got to understand that the Germans had the highest technology at the time. They could have beat us hands down. If we'd have given them a couple more years, we would have lost. If they would have had jet fighters in the air, Me-102s, we would have lost. The air superiority would have been gone. We would have lost. There'd been nothing we can do. And if they would have got their super tanks, their MAUs, their super giant tanks about half the size of an actual building or shed, which are probably about two, maybe a half, maybe 1.5 sheds, building-wise, then it can also fit. It's about the size, probably. It's pretty big. I gotta say, there's a documentary about it, and it could hold 26 people in it. So I gotta say, if that happened, plus how their ingenuity about, or genius about technology and armor was already, imagine if they actually had the knowledge to actually make their armor bounce off like what the Russians had that failed, that they knew failed because the Russians bent their armor in such a way that shells would bounce off. But imagine if the Germans actually had that on their tanks, and then they increased the armor on all ends equally, times like 5. Could you imagine trying to fight a tank that has 26 things about the size of a house coming towards you with like 18 guns? Pretty scary. Because here's an example. If anyone's ever played the N64 version game of Battletanks Global Assault, there's a tank called the Goliath tank, and it's on big treads. And I think it had a cannon about, 210 millimeter cannon. It was huge. Like nothing stood against it in the game. Like nothing could hurt it. Very little could. The only other tank in that game that could probably stand up to it would be the Rhino. And the only reason the Rhino can actually hurt it, doing it toe to toe, is because its armor is so cobbled in the front for frontal armor that it couldn't be hurt or very easily. But if there's a tank that big, you would be so screwed. Just saying. But I gotta say though, you guys are pretty cool. Though I'm just saying, like not screwed in a negative way. Just like it's never wise to think that you're better than somebody else in a civilization. Otherwise, you can't heal. I do. I gotta say one thing though. Love is very, very, very cherishable. You can always cherish love. You can always be in love with yourself and others. In the relationship, though, the first thing you understand is love yourself inside and out. Figure out what you're going through and what the problems are. And if you can try to remember the past, or learn from the past. That way you can fix the present, improve on the present, look to the future, fix it, and be happier thereon. But I hope that everybody on this planet and universe is blessed with love, unconditional love, light, peace, longevity, and just every emotion that you could have. if like kind of like there, I guess some people actually have what George Lucas says on the video about what the dark side and light side is. Pretty much once you see the truth about that, it's pretty much everyone on the planet. So I mean, everyone's technically yin or yang, because in order for everything to work, you'd have to have it. Because even past civilizations, even if they've been at peace, there was always someone that had to do anything. Always thought they were better, they owned them, or they were better, they should rule them. Like the people who rule the country, the elites. So I mean, the system will always be broken as long as people don't do anything. Once a human being rises up against it, then the world can heal. So, but also the world is so beautiful in a way though, and alive, that just living on it is just a wonderful thing. If it was possible to go to Agartha right now in Earth, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would love to meet some of the lovely people down there. Ask my heritage and where I came from. So I just really want to know where I came from, what I am. Because if they tell me I'm a spiritual being like them, it will resonate with me so high, and I'll just be filled with love. Just no, I bet the people are beautiful too down there and healthy. I probably would want to go up to one of them and just hug them. It's about what I'm doing right now. Just want to hug. But I don't want to think though. If you're feeling down, or your woman's feeling down because she's pregnant and she doesn't think she's attractive, assure her and let her know that she'll always be attractive and beautiful to you always, because you love her inward and outward because of everything and positivity and everything she does, and for the children she gave you, and that you're always beautiful to her through your eyes. As long as you know that, and you speak truth when you say it, love and life will always be easy for everyone. You just gotta slow down and kind of relax a little bit. Take a break. Learn to love. Tone down the hate a little bit. You gotta be on a planet that has love, man. Love conquers all things. Pretty much. But I do love you guys though. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I gotta say, I think people that are creators that create things, or savers for saving items to use, um, it's not so much fun. But I mean, then again, I guess I would say good luck with life, peace, namaste, and hope you guys have a wonderful life, all of you, and know that you'll always be loved. Like the Americans would say, something along the lines of being part of a family is a beautiful thing. It's knowing that you're loved and you're always going to be loved forever, no matter what. Because in America, my father, on my father's side, my third great grandmother was full bloody Abenaki, which would explain why I love nature. Which may be one of the reasons I might love things too much, and it's a pain when I lose them. Um, but then again, oh, and by the way, my name is Scotty. It's nice to meet all of you. I hope you guys all kind of learn from this, from what I'm saying, or have an open mind, or whatever. I mean, if you do have a comment that's negative or positive, it's okay, because that's one of the reasons we have the First Amendment right, which is the right of free speech, press, and religion. Without that, we would not have anything. Though the Second Amendment for the bear arms should not be infringed ever. That will actually helps us protect against the tyrannical government and our rights. Um, so, but something I think George Carlin said or one of the someone was talking that I was listening to on YouTube said, when the people fear the government, there's tyranny. When the system fears the people, there's liberty. Thanks for listening, and hope everyone has a wonderful day and night. And basically, I'm a thinker, and I would definitely have to say, good fight, good night. Or a quote from the Celebrity Deathmatch. Sorry, I love that show so much. Oh, okay. Talk to you guys later. Hopefully one day I'll find a girl that loves me. That way I can if I get my room all sorted out, I should be able to move on so that I can just get a job that I want. I can save up money and then I can just probably get a woman and have kids. But only time will tell for that. But okay, love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.